It's time for the chip race.
We're joined now by Daiva Bucharest, or Daiva Byrne as she's better known these days. Daiva, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, it's a pleasure.
You are one of the new Unibet ambassadors. Congratulations on that appointment.
Thank you very much. I'm super chuffed. Really happy.
Well, as most of our listeners know, Dara and I are good friends. He's in the booth with me today. What they might know, however, is that we used to talk hands almost every single day. That was until you came along. So I guess my first question is, why do you think it's okay to steal another poker player's study partner off them?
A strong start from you, David. Very strong. I guess the question here is, I think Dara actually dropped you, right?
Is that? Okay.
I mean, the question would be, for Dara, why did you drop David and replace it with me?
I guess we'll throw it to Dara then. Why did you replace me?
I honestly don't remember, David. I can't imagine why Daiva would be a better study partner than you.
Oh.
You must have loved him too much.
Daiva, we won't give anything away about your age, but I believe you were born in Lithuania when it was still part of the Soviet Union. What are your memories from that time, and particularly the period when Lithuania became independent?
Well, obviously I was very young. We used to have Russian cartoons, and I used to watch them all the time when I was a kid. Russian channels, just in general, Russian TV, and that's how I learned my Russian. I've never studied at school, and I still can speak a little bit, and I can understand a lot. Another thing that I remember is Independence Day itself. So I was quite young, but there were like military and lots of tanks on the streets and people protesting, and I watched that on TV when I was little. I remember all the family just sitting there having a meal and just supporting like virtually everyone. So yeah.
And what age were you when you came to England?
Sneaky. I was 17 actually.
And what was that like? Like 17 years old coming to a new country. Was your English as good as it is now?
It wasn't, but I still could communicate quite well. It was a challenge initially. I used to cry a lot. I used to be homesick. But I think I'm quite an independent person, and after a few months or so, I kind of settled in, made friends, started in international language school, and I made my way, got a part-time job. I used to work in the shoe shop, and I used to work in a bar, and used to work in a nightclub. I tried all kinds of professions.
So at what point did poker come onto the horizon? I did a little bit of research for this and looked up your Hendon Mob, and I saw that your first cash was at the Palm Beach Casino in London in June 2011. You came second for 13k. Were you brand new, or had you been playing up until that point?
Before that, I played for quite a few months, I think 6 months or so. I played locally in London a lot, in daily tournaments, nightly ones. And also I've been playing online prior to my Palm Beach results for a couple of years or so, and had a few five-figure results there.
Daiva, I first met you at a European Nations event in Cyprus, maybe 2013. I'm not going to brag. Actually, I will brag. Ireland ended up winning the event. But you played so well that the English captain, Barney, boatman, left you in for almost the entire 2 days. Every team was required to have one female, but they could be subbed out at any time, and most of the other captains exercised that option with indecent haste. You ended up winning the individual prize for your seat. How did you end up playing on the English team? I remember the Lithuanian captain was pretty tilted about that.
Oh, thanks for compliments, guys. It's really nice to be in the best seat of the tournament. How did I get on the English team? I've known Barney for quite a few years, and I think I could pass for an adopted English player myself if needed to, because I've been in England for so long before that game. Also, Lithuanian captain didn't see in this way, but I don't remember him making the call to invite me and join the Lithuanian team, so he could not really say much post that.
Well, I hate to break up your little visit down memory lane on a trip that I never got to be on because no Irish team captain wanted me to be on their team. But how did you get to meet Barney? Barney's a bit of a legend, obviously, at the British poker scene, one of the original Hendon mobsters. How did you make that connection?
Well, I've seen him a lot around playing around London games and in UK in general, but at the same time we got sponsored by Genting Poker, So Barney was one of my teammates. It was a whole hand and mob group, and me and Ellie, another girl. So we used to hang out a lot, playing, GPSs and going to the other local tours.
Another thing about you, Daiva, is that you crush ladies' events really hard. You seem to cash pretty much every ladies' event you play. You make the final table half the time, and you've won a few. Most ladies I know don't actually enjoy the ladies-only events. What's your feeling on them, and what's the secret of your success?
Oh, thanks, Dara. I was very lucky to have quite a lot of success in the ladies events. In general, I do really enjoy ladies events. I think I find them very friendly and intimate. The reason for that is because we don't usually get really big numbers. I think on average it's around 50 players.
Well, speaking of ladies events, you recently played in and again crushed the Unibet Ladies Battle Royale in Bucharest, a tour stop of the Unibet Open from last December. What was that like as an experience? I know it was a bit of a mixed field. There were some gamers in the field and some very accomplished players too. What was it like playing against those girls?
It was really, really fun, actually, because we had the girls from different backgrounds, and you said the girls with no poker experience and the girls with very extensive poker experience. It was really interesting dynamic. My strategy for that was just stay away of really experienced girls. Try to get in the pots with the girls who don't really know what they're doing, or if you're doing it correctly.
Are there any standout memorable hands from that tournament, apart from the final one, of course, which is always memorable?
I think the most interesting hand for me was actually when Luciana was on the button and she open jammed around 14 big blinds, and I was in small blind and I was playing about 25 bigs, and I had king jack off, and I knew instantly that it should be a reshove based on Luciana's wide range. I was kind of taking my time and I'm thinking, shall I go with it or not, because it was such a marginal close decision, and whilst I was doing that, obviously we still had big blind Delia on my left, and she had me covered. She had 30 big blinds. So whilst I was taking my time to think about her hand, she actually gave a huge live sell. She basically made me fold the hand, which could have costed me my tournament life, because eventually I would have lost it because Delia had ace king, so I would have been out in 5th or 6th place if I went for that move. But the live tell basically. Yes.
What was the live tell?
She asked how much out of turn and started counting the whole chips, started counting it before even I asked how much.
Yeah, I generally tell people who are inexperienced live poker players, one of the things to do is not to look at your cards before your action is on you, so you can't give away that sort of information.
That's brilliant advice, Dara. I think it's one of it. Don't look at your cards, and another one is always make sure that it's your turn to act, because I see time and time over again inexperienced players going, I raise or call, and there is already someone all in, and we're not even seeing that play all in, and we have to call, and it's not what we wanted to do. So just make sure it's your turn and you're aware of what's the action previously.
Coming back to David's original question as to why I dropped him in pair with Daiva, one of the huge things I find when I'm studying with Daiva is that if I'm discussing a live hand, she asks me far more detailed questions about all of that physical stuff and how they look and what have you seen them do in these spots before. And I actually find I learn a lot from Daiva just on the whole sort of live play.
And I struggle to remember how the hand even played out. I usually get it wrong in the first place. So.
This is true as well. Yeah, Daiva's always very clear on the starting hand and the run out.
Yeah, but it's amazing, to be able to have Dara as a study buddy, such a experienced and such an awesome player. And
okay, that's enough of that. Now we move on to the next question. Daiva, anyone who follows you on Twitter or Facebook, no, we don't need to talk about that. It's fine. Everybody knows. Everybody knows.
Continuously working at your game, that's the only way to beat the game.
Okay.
It was a different topic really altogether.
Anyone who follows you at Baltic Blonde, I think, on Twitter will know that you're a world traveller. You've, particularly in the last few months, pictures from beaches in the Maldives, mountaintop photographs.
She's a hard life.
It's a very tough life. Obviously, incorporating poker into that, trying to find some venues that are great places to see, but also great poker destinations. What are you looking at over the next maybe 3 to 6 months?
So we got a friend's wedding in Barcelona in May, and then for poker-wise we got Copenhagen coming up, which I'm super excited about, and it's a great food scene there and a great nightlife I heard. And then I'm going to Lithuania for Easter to see my family, and we got beautiful traditions there, you know, like painting the eggs and like playing games on Easter Day and going to church in the morning. So it'll be to see all of them. It'll be really nice to spend quality time together.
And Daiva, obviously you've been announced as a Unibet ambassador, and that's an amazing signing for Unibet, I think. Looking forward, what are your remaining poker ambitions?
I would love to win one of the bigger games, just to come first in a big event such as Unibet Open or any other equal event. But I guess apart from that, every professional poker player's ambition in the end of the day is to win a bracelet at some point.
That's everybody except David, yeah.
Yeah, in the ladies event, I think that's the most likely to happen because of the numbers and my experience. I think in general, my ambition going forward in poker is like to be a good ambassador and role model for the female poker players, especially, obviously all poker players, but especially female players. I want to promote the game, and I want to show that it's a great game to get involved, and no one should be feeling intimidated.
Yeah, I also feel like that the Unibet events are particularly friendly, so it's a very good environment for ladies maybe to start playing.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, so far I played in Bucharest and London for Unibet Open festivals, and I played some side events ranging from £100 to 300 and 500, and then main event 1,000, and all of them had more or less the same feel. People are there to have a good fun, to be friendly and interact and have a banter and have a drink and just have an amazing time and holiday basically at the same time.
Daiva, you're obviously a great role model for ladies in the game, top drawer player as well as a top drawer ambassador. As Dara said, Unibet are lucky to have you. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks Daiva.
Thank you, it was great, guys.